Fourth, Fifth, and Sixth Amendments. These amendments really help and protect us when it comes to being charged with a crime, law enforcement, and a court system. So the Fourth Amendment says, you know what, you cannot improperly search my belongings or me. You need to have a warrant. It has to be signed by a judge. And if you do not have a warrant and you find evidence, you cannot use that in the court of law. So even back then, they were having the same issues we have today with people abusing powers and trying to frame people for maybe something they didn't do. So the Fourth Amendment protects us from them just barging into our home and taking what they want as evidence. And that is mainly the Fourth Amendment. The Fifth Amendment comes along as well and protects us when it comes to double jeopardy. We cannot be tried twice for a crime. If I was tried and I already served my time, it's done. I cannot go back into court and have to be faced with those same charges. Self-incrimination, again, the same issues we have today, they had back then. So the issue of where they would kind of force you to admit to something that perhaps you didn't do. That's why we can now plead the Fifth. It comes from the Fifth Amendment. We can say nothing. We do not have to incriminate ourselves. And we don't have to feel pressured to say something that may or may not be true. Also, the Fifth Amendment gives us the right to due process, and due process is those legal proceedings that take us throughout the court system and to have our trial and our day in court. The Sixth Amendment helps us and protects us when it comes to being charged with a crime. Yes, I'm charged with a crime, but I still have rights. I have a right to a speedy trial. I don't have to sit around and wait for my trial to happen if it ever does, because we do hear of that in other countries where someone's been sitting in jail for 8 years to see their day in court. So we have the right to a speedy trial. We have right for legal representation. That's why if we can't afford one, one is provided for us. And we also have the right to be informed of why we're even being arrested in the first place. Why are you arresting me? What charges are you bringing towards me? I have that right. So Fourth, Fifth, and Sixth Amendments, super important to us, super relevant today as it was back then as well.